Oh, hello there, Site-42 staff. Good to see you in the chat. Welcome to another Dr. Sherman's Office Hours, a subsidiary of the Anomalous broadcast from Site-42. Good to see you in the chat. Origami, Sally, Zerdrin, SCP-420-J, Silent Follower, and San Alex as well. Thank you all for being members. Hello to the Puppet Master and XMX, just because. Good to see you all. How are you doing today? Welcome to our office hours. Today, and the background of tonight's stream, we will be taking care of the Site-42 sent survey. Essentially, which SCP entities or objects, rooms, seem to be particularly in need of a good scrubbing. Janitorial always wants to check in, make sure we keep track of things like this. So, if there's any particular anomaly you think stank to high heaven, so to speak, you can let us know. The Forest Eyes, SCP-420-J, is not something I have ever feared. You must be thinking of another anomaly. Yasley, what's up, Sob? Looks like I missed a lot of your streaming, Dr. Sherman. Well, good to have you back, Yasley. Thank you for being a member. Dihydrogen monoxide, good to see you in the chat. Thanks for being a member. And SCP-173 is pretty bad for that, certainly. Oh, you are obviously correct about that, but we've known about the poopy statue for a while, and we've got a pretty good rotation on taking care of its sanitation needs, so I doubt that that one's going to be too big a problem. M3A3, I do not know what a BMP is, therefore I do not know about the size of its GAT regardless. Definitely Radical Larry, SCP-106. I agree, 106 probably do stank. It do be a crusty old man who is also being burned by acid. So, that's pretty bad. How about SCP-729-J? Oddly, that anomaly does not smell that bad. It's just everything else about it that sucks. Havoc, good to see you in the chat. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being the first donation for today's stream at all. Make sure to grab yourself a jelly donut on your way past the commissary. 682 got the gender switching stone and is after me. Well, based on what 682 looks like in the dating sim Doki Doki Anomaly, I suggest we get the stone back immediately. I do not need a bunch of terrified demon daters and monster fuckers messing up things here at the Foundation. Gaming with Bryson, can I subscribe to you? Well, if you wish to subscribe to the channel, the button is somewhere in this area, I believe. Have fun. The Tree, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some maple syrup on your way past the commissary. I talked to my tree attorney and they say we can sue. I wish you the best of luck. If you think the SCP Foundation is scary, wait until you meet our legal department. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a icy on your way past the commissary. 096, hard to safely clean its cell. You are correct. 096 would be hard to clean up after, but I mean, you can just toss a Roomba in there. It's fine. Roombas don't have eyes. So, maybe not as difficult as we thought. Robin St. Pierre, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a glass of elderflower tonic water on your way past the commissary. Good news, SCP-2882-OC finally became SCP-2882-OC-EX. The new anomalous amnestics was just mistargeted with their specific neuronal wiring. They'll still be immune, but it's an EX now at least. Okay, I'm glad that we figured something out there. I didn't want to have to deal with any amnestics-proof entities. That would have been difficult to deal with. M3A3. Dr. Sherman, the BMP is a Soviet light tank series with a double hatchback, which are both rounded out, making it look thick. Ah, okay. Well, I can see why such a meme might come out from you and your tank username anyways. I can see how this is in your wheelhouse. I'm not very much for the Mobile Task Force side of the humor, but I'm glad you're having a good time. Samuel Corelli, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Go get yourself a grilled cheese sandwich on your way past the commissary. How did the retrieval for SCP-2818 go? Let me take a look at the database. 2818, you say? Let's see where we're at. So, as far as I know, those were stolen by a particularly egregiously meta entity, which would mean that it's quite difficult for us to get our hands on them in any sense. So, I think we're going to have to write those off as lost materials, unfortunately. I would certainly prefer if they weren't, but in this case, it's just a matter of we're dealing with entities that we're trying to contain in other methods, so those might just be casualties in this case. Sally, Dr. Sherman, I just finished listening to the tale in his own image. Oh, is that the series here on our channel that you listened to, or did you listen to another series by another SCP podcast creator? Either way, it's a great tale series from the old days of the Wiki. Very good stuff. And so I hope you enjoyed it regardless of who was the reader in that case. Jonathan, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself an apple cider on your way past the commissary. Anomaly idea. A species of monitor lizard that reproduces by mitosis, seemingly violating the law of conservation of mass. Well, it wouldn't be the first anomaly that violated conservation of mass, nor will it be the last. That being said, duplicating lizards, huh? Duplicating very large lizards. It certainly has a danger level. Is this anything in relation to SCP-3579, Instigator, the service that spawns alligators? Let me know if there's a cross-test we can work in there. Maybe they come from a similar source. Howard, Jackson, and Hyper Hooligan, welcome to subscribership here at Site-42. Welcome to staff. 108 do stink, though, and SCP-108 would stink. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for donating to that, also in agreement with Zerdrin. 108, huh? I don't remember that number on the database. Extra-dimensional nasal cavity. So this is the, isn't this the Nazi base that was up a person's nose or something? Yes, a bunker system of Nazi German construction dedicated to the production and maintenance of World War II era Messerschmitt Me-262 fighters that is found up the nose of a 51-year-old African-American woman. A very interesting thing, actually. In one of my SCP D&D games, I had the Foundation repurpose this extra-dimensional space as a Foundation bunker And so, let's see, did we do that? Okay, in this article, they decided to make it a backup archive, I see. In my game, we made it a full-fledged Foundation base hidden in this woman's nose. And my team of players had to go up her nose to go solve the mystery that's going on inside the nose base. Very interesting article, and I guess you would say, I don't think that the site inside would actually stink, but because it is a nose, you could say it literally has some smells going on. So, partial credit, I believe. Continuing on. Alexander Stanford. Well, thank you for becoming a member here at Site-42 at the Level 1 Researcher level. We appreciate your service as well as your membership. And remember, if you do wish to become a member today, Level 1 members get the emojis and badges. That way I can see what you're doing in the chat earlier. But if you're a Mobile Task Force Captain level, which is level 2, you also get early access to videos. Just something to keep in mind if you are also thinking of joining the membership tiers today. Now, Havoc, thank you for donating again. Safe for now, Crash, never mind. Well, you had a bad day. You're taking one down. You'll sing a sad song just to turn it around. Good luck. The Tree, thank you for donating again. How would the SCP Foundation contain SPURB from Homestuck LIU? I've only heard of Homestuck. I've never actually investigated it. I don't know what a Homestuck LIU is. And I don't know what a SPURB is. So I'm going to learn something right now. Gods help me. Specifically, the god who is the father of SCP-6542 Milk Jesus, otherwise known as Cheesus. That is the particular god I want protecting me in this moment. SPURB is the human name for a sandbox-style game that takes place superimposed over the real world rather than in a virtual space. So it sounds like an AR kind of game, an augmented reality game. Yes, that's the word I want. The server player is able to manipulate the client's environment in real time in a manner reminiscent of The Sims. So, a gamified level of reality visible through anomalous means. Well, what we would have to do is simply limit ways that you are able to see this reality. So we would have to investigate and make sure that there is no way people could interact with this segmented layer of reality to play the game. That would be a feasible containment. That one blue guy, good evening to you as well. Amber, good to see you in the chat. Thank you for being a member. Good to see you. Hunt VR, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Go get yourself a biscotti on your way past the commissary. Help SCP-096, I looked at a picture of it. Well, I don't know why I would need to help SCP-096 if you looked at a picture of it. I believe you would be the one in need of help. But there's not much we can do at that point. I think SCP-096 doesn't need help disemboweling you. And you are now beyond our help, so make your peace with whatever particular gods you worship. I suggest making your peace with SCP-029-J, Uber driver Jesus' dad. That's a pretty chill god to hang out with, I imagine. Leaf, welcome to Level 1 Researchership here at Site-42. We appreciate your service and your membership. Let's go back here. Samuel Corelli, thank you for donating again. There's a research associate at another SCP site than Arizona, ASFAC, that's right, that frequently lets himself get captured by itself. Anomalies are its. Use your proper pronouns now. We do not humanize the anomalies. Perhaps she can ask it to return them. Well, if this research associate can get the anomalies back, that would be very useful information for me to have had weeks ago at this point. But yes, let's ask that research associate at this alternate site to see if they can get our anomalies back. God knows we need the research budget, so let's make it happen. Dr. Pepper Dragon, good to see you in the chat. Thank you for being a member. Yo, Leaf is cool now. You are correct. Leaf is now cool. The green names are slowly overtaking the white names in the chat. Total victory is at hand. Silent member, it's alerting me that you've been a member for a month. Congratulations on your 1 month of membership. If YouTube decided to alert me, it must be an important anniversary. The Tree, thank you for donating again. It destroys the world and allows you to make a new. It's an augmented reality game that destroys the world and allows you to make a new one. So it allows you to turn into a reality bender of sorts. Well, that's extremely dangerous. That means, for sure, we would make sure to limit anyone else from being able to use it. Because that's too much power for anyone to have willingly, that we will allow. Building Block, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a scoop of gelato on your way past the commissary. Instead of making the tree scream in fear, make it scream in anger by telling it bad jokes nonstop. Well, that would be very difficult for me because all of my jokes are absolute bangers, and I've never told a bad joke. So unfortunately, I won't be able to test that, but I'm sure we can find someone who will. Railfan Engineer Gaming, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Go get yourself a stick of gum on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, this is important. The GOC is chasing me. I didn't do anything this time totally. So wait, are you a double agent in there and they found you? Is that all that happened? I would, get out. Get out. Because yes, and please don't lead any gawk suckers to our site, okay? The Global Occult Coalition sucks so bad, I do not want them sullying up our walls. That would bring a stank we don't want in the site. Zerdrin, I'll lose my green tomorrow, but don't panic, it's just me bumping the transaction date to the 1st of the month. Ah, well played. Good strategies, I see what you're playing there. Pizza Portal. Are you an anomaly? Not at all, Pizza Portal. I am not at all anomalous in any way. I don't know why anyone would think that. It is insanity to think that I am some sort of anomalous entity. That and or my pen, which is also non-anomalous. For certain, don't worry about it. What suckers? Conwar, listen closely. I said gawk suckers. G-O-C. The Global Occult Coalition. They are a bunch of gawk suckers. It's my favorite slur for the gawk suckers. I think it's hilarious. Red 23, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Coke Zero on your way past the commissary. I see that you are no stranger to love. I am certain, as a member of the Foundation staff, that you know the rules. And of course, as a protocol creator, so do I. And if you're signing up for the Foundation, then nothing less than being fully committed will do. A full commitment is what I'm thinking of. And you wouldn't get a job offer like this from any other guy. Silent Follower, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a cup of coffee on your way past the commissary. Someone out there feels better because you exist. Well, that is likely true of all of us here, so let us for one moment bask in the joy that, like a butterfly effect, we are bringing something good to the world together. If anything, just by being part of such a wonderful arts community as the SCP Foundation. Very nice. Yesman's Ally, what is your favorite anomaly? Well, I'll have you know, I say my favorite SCPs at the end of every stream. And so, today, we are going for a 3-hour stream. That means we will end in about 2 hours and 40 minutes. So that is the end of stream today, but If you want to know earlier, you can also cheat and go back to yesterday's stream or any other stream, because usually that's when it happens. Do they serve rabbit meat here? Yes, Tarleton Fox, the commissary has been known to cook rabbit from time and again. Rabbit stew is a favorite of some of the Mobile Task Force agents who like to go hunting. Hey Doc, do you got a favorite pen to spin, or is it like a neural activation? Whenever you see a pen, you must spin when pen spotted. Silly question, woo. Well, I mean, it's a silly question, but it's also an interesting one. I am not particularly picky with my pens. I will spin any pen that I can pick up, but I do have some preferences. For instance, if a pen has a rubberized coating, that just gives it a better grip for spinning. So that is nice. I do enjoy that when it's a little stickier. Slippery pens are more difficult to spin. On top of which, if the pen has a little more of a heft to it, it spins easier. This pen is a little lighter, and so it might fling out of the fingers. This one's a little heavier, and so it is easier to keep in between your fingers. Now, if you want to go hardcore, then this beast of a pen is much thicker and heavier. Now, it is slippery, but it does have that added weight, which makes it nice to spin as long as you don't lose it, which I never lose it. If you thought I did lose it, you saw nothing. I never lose the pen. So yes, that's just a little bit of a pen preference tutorial. And also, don't spin fountain pens. Fountain pens use physics and gravity to let the ink out, and if you spin it, the ink goes everywhere. It's a terrible mess. Not that I would ever make that mistake. Not that I would ever make such a silly and stupid mistake. Agent Mowell, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a churro on your way past the commissary. The Tree, thank you for donating again. Spurb is a game that through paradoxes destroys the world via bombardment that traps its players in a pocket dimension where, upon completing the game, they will get the ability to create a new world. Oh, I think I found something. I think I have heard something about the end of Homestuck being the ability to create your own world or something. Ay. So that sounds like, at that level of game, you're kind of dealing with an XK class or more of a ZK class reality restructuring event. And so the only way for us to halt that would be to, in fact, go and off all of the players. We'd have to make sure no one was still standing to finish ending the world. So there would be a mobile task force whose job it was to chase down players and end them so no one could complete the game. That would be the way I would fix that. Hey, Site Director. Hey, Researcher Lost Light. 22 Red 23, thank you for donating again. How would you stop World War Z? Well, a zombie apocalypse is a pretty worldwide phenomenon that gets difficult. In a protracted zombie apocalypse, you're looking at a when daybreak scenario. The zombies are everywhere, everyone knows normalcy is breached, and the Foundation is trying just to survive with the last dregs of humanity. And so, in a full-blown zombie apocalypse, there's not a lot we can do. We're more of a research organization than a military organization. Remember that. We are secure, contain, protect, and study and research. We do have militarized troops, but we're not a worldwide military, so to speak. That being said, SCP-008 is a zombie plague, and 049 is known to create zombies. And in both of those cases, we just get rid of the zombies so the plague can't spread. Prevention is the #1 key to making sure there is no World War Z. Samuel Corelli, thank you for donating again. Was I supposed to find this? The head of O5 Council is SCP-001. See, here's the funny thing about that. The O in O5 is for Overseer. So it's a letter, not a number. And I believe that's a number in your chat. Meanwhile, you also put an apostrophe before it. So is that the 2005 Council? Is that the 1905 Council? Is it the dreaded 1805 Council? Ooh. Whichever one of those is SCP-001, I would be very worried. Dr. Pepper Dragon, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a cheeseburger with peanut butter on your way past the commissary. Don't knock it. It's actually pretty good. Or let me change that. I didn't do cheese on the peanut butter burgers. I did just burger, bun, peanut butter. So try that first. See if you like that. There's a mildewy smell in the break room on my sublevel. There's a leak in the wall. Unfortunately, the funds for the remodel were reappropriated. Yes, unfortunately, the budgetary constraints of the overseers were reducing our budget, plus Dr. Moon stealing 25% of our anomalies, therefore reducing our research and containment budgets by 25%, has been a bit of a hit, and some of the redoings have been pushed back. But don't worry, we will get to it eventually. In the meantime, I am sorry that your room is not passing the Site-42 scent survey that we're holding today, or specifically your break room. Crunchy or smooth peanut butter? I have never tried the burger with crunchy peanut butter, but with smooth peanut butter it was fine. Honestly, crunchy peanut butter isn't bad, so it would be an interesting addition to the texture. And for all of you saying, what the frick, for peanut butter on a burger, I'll have you know that Elvis Presley pioneered the peanut butter banana burger. It is a thing, and it has been a thing for a very long time. Just because your palates are Luddites, incapable of understanding the erudite combination of savory and sweet, is not my problem. Grow up. Grow up, I say to you. Matt Pat as an SCP scientist. Well, Greg, you ain't wrong. Drink some water, your face is turning pink. Don't worry, I'm very well hydrated with my coffee and water and everything. It is simply the case that the Irish in me, whenever I get excited in any manner, my face turns completely flush. If I laugh, I turn into a cherry tomato. If I get angry, I turn into a lobster. That is just the way my skin functions. Maybe you're born with it, maybe you're a cherry tomato, I don't know. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for donating again. A D-class punched SCP-999. Can I put the D-class in the femur breaker? Approved. Good eye. Good catch. Omenheart, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a nice cream on your way past the commissary. All right, I gotta ask, do you think 999 would be fine being cooked in the microwave, or would it, not he, it, proper anomalous pronouns? I mean, it's a slime. It doesn't even have a gender. Would it be turned into melted orange gelatin? Sounds delicious. Heh. You stay away from 999, okay? We're not microwaving it. We're not blending it. If you've read the tale, Agent Florida Orange on the wiki, we did chop it into bits and use it to market and manufacture antidepressants, and that was pretty effed up if you ask me. Go read Agent Florida Orange. It's a rough one. It's pretty funny. But no, denied. At least for R999, that's not happening. What can kill SCP-001? The pawn before the king. I don't know what you're speaking of. There's so many different SCP-001s. It could be any of them. So, I don't know. Be more specific. Kakwambi, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Go grab yourself a cup of clam chowder on your way past the commissary. Do you think the pestilence that SCP-049 is trying to cure and rid us of is actually SCP-2718, or at least related somehow? You know, It would be nice if that were the case, and if 049's motives were something I would agree with, because 2718, yikes. That is one of the scariest frickin' articles to me, man. But 2718 is something that affects, to our knowledge, every single human being. And there are some humans that don't have the pestilence. So either 2718 doesn't affect every human being, or the pestilence is not 2718 because it doesn't affect everybody. Good thought, though. Very interesting hypothetical. Bet Dr. Sherman is never going to read the comments again. Once again, Hundo, I don't know what you're saying here. VW, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a chicken tender and fry combo on your way past the commissary with a milkshake. Hey, if an anomaly that is immortal and invulnerable, but joined the Chaos Insurgency before leaving and starting a mission to destroy the Insurgency, would they be able to join the Foundation as a Thaumiel class SCP? Let me recalibrate that sentence in my head. If an anomaly that is immortal and invulnerable, but joined the Chaos Insurgency before leaving and starting a mission to destroy the Insurgency. So before leaving what? Before leaving what is what's making this sentence be confusing to me. But long story short, if at the end of the day, they are some sort of anomaly that is swearing vengeance on the Foundation, then they would probably be a Euclid or a Keter class anomaly, not Thaumiel, unless they very much specifically worked for the Foundation, as well as contained other anomalies. A rogue anomaly that's messing with the Chaos Insurgency is awesome, but not quite Thaumiel on its own, if you know what I mean. Omen Hart, thank you for donating again. Still thinking of putting 999 into 914 on rough. Well, go take some amnestics so you forget about such a boneheaded idea, please. What if I give SCP-999 a gun and he do the murder? Well, remember, SCPs, anomalies, are not people. They are objects. No anomaly, no matter how human it is a he or a she. They are its. Hard stop. Anomalies are objects, not people. Sheesh. Get on the pronoun game, people. It's not that difficult. We do not humanize the anomalies, nor do we fraternize with them. And meanwhile, I mean, you don't need to give SCP-999 a gun. I already gave SCP-999 a gun to protect it from all these people trying to blend it or microwave it or put it in 914 on any setting. This is your warning, Omen Hart. 999 is packing. Are you sure you want to try that? VW, thank you for donating again. Leaving the Insurgency, but they want to work for the Foundation to destroy the Insurgency. Well, in that case, if they want to work for us and take out the Insurgency... The thing is, Thaumiel is for something that directly... Well, it directly helps us contain other anomalies. But we do have some leeway with that, because SCP-3000 is Thaumiel, and it just manufactures amnestics, which is part of the Foundation's day-to-day operations. And so if we continue manufacturing amnestics to help the Foundation Thaumiel, perhaps a anomaly that's trying to end the Chaos Insurgency could also qualify. I'm gonna say maybe. I'm gonna say possibly. Likely even. Hello, Dr. Sherman. I am not dead. Congratulations, an Emerald God. That is something to be proud of here at the Foundation every day. 22 Red 23, thank you for donating again. Why don't we make mechs out of SCP-387? Well, I don't remember what SCP-387 is in the database, but I can take a quick look. Living Lego. So I can easily say that, A, we would want mechs that are more durable than children's toys, and I would like mechs that do not have a mind of their own. I want mechs that follow orders. So my answer for that is no. Although if you're just talking about the living Legos making little mechs to play with each other, I don't mind that as much. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for donating again. Stop hurting 999. The femur breaker is getting worn out, and I'm running out of pictures of 096's face. Don't worry. Facilities can replace parts on the femur breaker lickety-split. They've had to learn through many containment breaches, so no worries. That'll get done on proper time. How would you classify my custom SCP? Well, Wolfden Universe, considering I know nothing about your custom SCP, I'm a little clueless as what to classify it as at all. I've got no details after all. SCP... Okay. The Scarlet King. Dr. Sherman, where's the tickle monster? I'm not telling you, Scarlet King. We're going to defeat you. Stay out in your little side of the outside multiverse, and we'll get to you when the time's right. Yo, can you read this out loud? Can you say I'm cool? It will make my day. Laura Odell, keep being cool. K. Quanby, thank you for donating again. So does SCP-2718 affect every human being or only people who are aware of the SCP? And is there a way we can beat or evade SCP-2718? We do not know. It's very hard to tell. And so, I mean, we've only been able to bring one person truly back from the dead to experience it. So, I mean, it could be a personal hell for that one person for all we know. But it could also be for every person who has ever been born, which is a very horrifying thought. So, unfortunately, we do not know the answer to that. And due to the way research and preparation for it has been treated, I doubt we will find the answer, unfortunately. So we all just get to live in fear until the end, I guess. And then live in pain after the end. Woo. Hate that one. VW, thank you for donating again. How would the Foundation respond to a global outbreak of a zombie virus like SCP-008? Only these zombies can use guns and vehicles and have strategy? Now these aren't even zombies anymore. These are like low-power liches. So how do we beat anomalous soldiers in general? We have to find a way to exploit a weakness, since they can lose limbs with impunity. We'd have to go for the head, so to speak. That's the zombie rule. And once again, the big deal with any zombie apocalypse is prevention. If we have to go back in time to make sure we kill the original smart zombie soldier so that we can stop the apocalypse, that's just what we have to do in that case. 22 Red 23, thank you for donating again. Could we send SCP-096 to the sun? We've already done that in canon. And when we sent SCP-096 into the sun started moving toward Earth. And I'm not saying that the Earth's orbit started decaying and the Earth started sinking into the sun. No, I'm saying the sun literally started moving toward the planet. So that speaks to SCP-096's durability. It speaks to its raw strength and breaking the laws of physics. So let's not in our universe do that. It seems like it was a bad plan. Blur, I'm drinking hot chocolate in my box. If anyone wants to join me, I just want company in my box. Well, thank you for staying in your box. Containment is as containment does. And, yes, I guess that's an invitation if any anomalies who are on good behavior want to perform a visit for tea time, so to speak. Omen Heart, thank you for donating again. Is there anyone not affected by 999's abilities? If so, I may be the only one. I do get the desire to cook it or put it in 914 even when I hear its name. I may want to get that checked out. Being a contrarian and kind of a dick is not an anomalous thing. It's just if everyone likes something, you don't like it. That's a very common trait. Don't puff yourself up too much there, mister. And also, if you are actually immune to SCP-999's effects, that would in fact be anomalous. That would be anomalous. Silent Follower, thank you for donating again. What does your mug say? Well, my mug has the SCP Foundation logo, and then I know that when you stream via this system, it makes everything appear backwards to my knowledge. But this is the Foundation Employee Personnel of the Month. Thank you, Dr. Sherman, for your continued dedication and service working in the shadows so society can live in the light. Site-42, dated August 2021. And if you want to get one of these for yourself, it is a custom joint made by Toad King Studios on Etsy, one of the SCP community's fundamental foundational merch makers of SCP patches, pins, stickers, mugs, and other various ephemera. So, great place to get your favorite SCP merch. Toad King Studios on Etsy. Why not? Good to see you again in the chat. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a blue raspberry popsicle on your way past the commissary. Help, I might have used the gender bender stone, so SCP-113, gotcha, on SCP-682, and the lizard girl wants me since it's heat season. Is there an SCP that can help? Oh, you're doing a heckin' doki doki anomaly. The funniest thing is, I don't know if you were here earlier, why not, because SCP-682 was already gender bent in the beginning of stream, which means you just ungender bent SCP-682. But if it's still a girl, you're flip-flopping some strange things here. The main thing you've got to do is just run. The main thing you've got to do is just run. To everyone who is spamming hashtag annoyed in asexual and to do not fraternize with the anomalies, you are the MVPs of chat. Good job. Marco, hello to you too. Ten Tails Gaming, good to see you in the chat again. Good to see ya. And thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Go grab yourself a plate of Cajun fries on your way past the commissary. Curse you, SCP Foundation! You sent the hard... You sent the hard? Oh. You sent the hard to destroy lizard at my island, and we had to fight! We're both exhausted. P.S. I hope you're doing all right. I am doing all right, thank you very much for asking. And wow, 682 is having a world tour today. Breaching containment, being double gender bent, and going out to an island to fight. That lizard is going to be begging to go back into its acid bath after everything you guys are doing with it today. How peculiar. Do not kerflunge the anomalies. Leaf, I very much enjoy that word kerflunge. I've never heard that before. That is a great piece of vocabulary you use there. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for donating again. Does the Earth get hotter during daybreak? You know, honestly, I don't think it does. Because it's not as if the sun has moved closer to Earth or vice versa. The ozone layer isn't organic, so it's not going to be fleshified, meaning that it's still an ozone layer. And in fact, I would believe that due to the death of most of humanity, or at least fleshification, there would be less cars and motor vehicles moving, which means greenhouse gases would be reduced. So if anything, the planet would cool during a daybreak scenario. Strange but true. I'd never thought of that. That's a great hypothetical. Thank you very much, dihydrogen monoxide. Asking the hard-hitting questions. What if I want the anomaly? Well, Stone Miner, if you want it to keep, the answer is no. If you want it to fraternize with, the answer is hell no. Basically just, I don't care if you want it or not. It's against protocol. It's unprofessional. Get help. Unfailing Eagle. But what if the anomaly is really cute and have kissable lips? I am going to end your entire career at the Foundation. Go to the on-site therapist and get help. Jeez. Specifically, Vor Jesus. That's who I'm crying out in help to this time. Vor Jesus, help us all. VW Austerlitz, thank you for donating again. What event/anomaly would warrant the Foundation working with all other groups of interest and them working with the Foundation? Well, we have partnered with the Global Occult Coalition and the Global Occult Coalition and the UIU before, very willingly. Somewhat begrudgingly, willingly. We don't often team up with the CI, but there was recently an article where everybody in the SCP universe teamed up for one goal. And I'm going to find it, because I know that I recently tweeted about it. And if you are on Twitter, Blue Sky, or Threads, you should follow Site-42 there, because they're often memes. So, I'm going to go to my profile. And I wish it would let me go to my profile. Please. And then search Calibold. Oh, that's not searching my profile. This is such a bad system. Let me check replies. No, I think it was a quote tweet. Scrolling, 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 going back. Why do I tweet so much? I really have a problem. I need to stop. But the people need to know about the SCP Foundation and its memes, so I guess I'm doing the right thing. Here we go. In the SCP tale, everyone knows. We got together with every single group of interest to specifically run a survey. And that survey was because at a certain party, a dinner party of sorts, 4 different people all found out that they all secretly worked at the Foundation and the others didn't know. So, after they all discover they work for the Foundation and they're like, what, you? What, you? They also discover all of their wives work for the Foundation, and they didn't know. And so it got up into the site director of their work site, and they decided to run a census of how many people in the world actually know about anomalies. And after they started tallying the SCP Foundation staff, they started to get worried. And so they asked the Global Occult Coalition, and Are We Cool Yet? And every other group of interest. And I won't spoil the ending for you. Just go enjoy SCP, the tale everyone knows. I really ought to read that one on the channel to give it some extra hype. That would be a good idea, Dr. Sherman. Remember that. What if I told you I was an anomaly? What if I told you, daily life, that you're already in the box and you didn't even know it? How peculiar. Kenny Cat, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Get yourself a brewski on your way past the commissary. When I think of something in my mind, it becomes real. Should I turn myself in for evaluation? Yes, please. Please turn yourself in for evaluation. And don't think anything crazy in the meantime. 22 Red 23, thank you for donating again. Could Thanos snap SCP-682 away, or would it adapt? 682 has been removed from consensus reality before, and then reasserted itself. So, not really. K. Quanby, thank you for donating again. Which victim of an SCP had the worst fate in all of SCP history? Except 2718, obviously. I would venture to say SCP-3999, cause researcher Talaran to have one of the very worst fates. One of the very worst fates in the SCP universe. Otherwise, on a smaller scale, SCP-8980 is, it makes my heart hurt just to think about it. So I'm going to go with 3999 and 8980 as the worst SCP fates. But that's just my answer for today. It might change tomorrow when I think of some different ones. Wolf Den Universe. Site-42! How would you contain my custom SCP? Made of solid, durable bone, regeneration, bone manipulation and creation, rips out his own bones to use as a weapon. Well, here's the thing about bones. They're not actually that durable as weapons. So, we would just lock you in a containment chamber, that anomaly of yours, and it wouldn't be able to get out. So, yeah. That ain't that tough, bruh. That ain't that tough, bruh. Joshua, thank you for donating for the first time to today's stream, I believe. Let me confirm that. Yes, indeed. And for your first donation, I want you to get a cup of wholesome chicken noodle soup on your way past the commissary. How would the Foundation contain Jareth, the Goblin King, from the Labyrinth? So, Jareth, the Goblin King, comes to take your children's, or sends people to take your children's when you invoke its name. So we would have to run a disinformation-style campaign that removed instances and namings of Jareth, the Demon King, the Goblin King, from all history. From books, from oral histories, from any written record that reminded people that Jareth existed. This is how we've depowered many gods that need worship to maintain their power. We would simply make sure no one knew about them anymore. So that is how we would contain the Goblin King, because if no one's invoking its name, it's not coming to get any kids. Problem solved. Desk, good to see you in the chat. Welcome to stream. We're about almost an hour in, so 2 hours to go. Dr. Pepper Dragon, thank you for donating again. Hey boss, I'm doing inventory in the warehouse. We store minor anomalies and objects awaiting relocation. Some items are missing. Would you like reports? Yes, if we're missing anomalies, I need to know if they are stolen or just misplaced, or if they walked away on their own. Give me reports. We cannot be losing any more anomalies right now. We're already enough in the budget hole as is. Omen Hart, thank you for donating again. It's not that I hate 999. I like the little guy. I'm just trying to do two things. Turn them into plushies and SCP Cooking the Cooking Show that makes SCP-themed dishes, or dishes made of SCPs. Okay, but that SCP Cooking Show sounds kind of fire. I can't lie. For anomalies that regenerate, using their meat for different dishes sounds like a very entertaining concept for an anomalous television show that I would definitely watch. So maybe you're not barking up the wrong tree. Maybe I was wrong about you. Maybe I want to hear about some of these recipes. Also, if you are interested in anomalous cooking, I cannot recommend enough the group of interest known as Ambrose Restaurants. They are an anomalous chain of restaurants that makes anomalous meals. Very cool if that's your kind of thing. Their articles on the wiki are very nicely designed. They all look like menus and reviews of the restaurants. So if you're not familiar with that, go give that a look. You might enjoy it if that sounds like your flavor of fiction. Nope. I didn't do that. Please do not break my computer right now. I need you, computer. Give me a moment. Everything is fine. Nothing is ruined. Desk, good on you with the Ambrose link. That is why you get paid the big desk polish. Silent Follower, thank you for donating again. Hashtag annoyed and asexual. Exactamente. And also, you don't need to be asexual to be annoyed at people trying to fraternize with anomalies. That is just no bueno for anybody. VW, thank you for donating again. Okay, what scenario would all GOCs or GOIs fight side by side against a single enemy or faction? Desk, can you think of any team-up that the whole Anomalous world has worked on? I can't imagine anything except the Scarlet King. And even in the Scarlet King, it was 7 anomalous entities with 7 magical spears. And that was different, very important entities. And even some of them, I think, one was a human character. But it wasn't everybody. I don't know that we've ever had the whole Anomalous world team up for one big fight. But if there is, Desk probably knows about it. Let me run a quick database search and see if I find anything with some luck. It's kind of a nebulous subject to be jumping on. SCP, GOI, team up. Okay, so I am seeing there is a thank you, Pyro38 on Reddit. It seems there is a tale called The Stars Do Not Wait for You, which involves the Foundation calling in all GOIs. So, that is one for you to be interested in. 5K is a world team up against the Foundation Desk, so that's different. Yeah, there you go. You got the point there. Well, The Stars Do Not Wait for You is one that was suggested from our SCP, so that one is one I will believe in. They're usually pretty good at knowing what's what. CN Foundation, so the Chinese Foundation, has a Task Force Omega 11 codenamed Concerto that has the ultimate team up of all, almost all GOIs. So you could look at that one. The SCP-6001 verse may qualify as well for a full GOI team up. So those are 3 you could look at. And let me know if they do scratch that itch for you. Loving the Snorlax shirt. Thank you, Cereal Ducky. It is quite a good shirt and the very best Pokemon. Okay, where was I in the chat? Does SCP-049 like SCP-682? To my knowledge, they don't get along, but I might be wrong. 682 hates humanity, and 049 is not a human. Let me see what I find. Honestly, the way the Plague Doctor instantly kills humans, I wouldn't be shocked if 682 liked 049 and the work it does. It turns out in the termination log that 682 was unaffected by the Plague Doctor's touch, so we know that that doesn't do anything. Okay, where am I in the chat? Aesthetic Zone, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a pack of Reese's Pieces on your way past the commissary. They make a great D&D snack because they don't, you can just pop them in your mouth real quick. They also work as game counters if you need that. How would one make a D&D campaign about SCP? All right, so the first thing I'll tell you is that you could really cheat and look up SCP-7006. SCP-7006 is called Initiative, and it is literally a tabletop gaming module for the SCP Foundation. And it contains, I think, 3 adventures that you can play in-universe. In the SCP universe, the games are a ritual of sorts, and so you have to do all 3. But that, is literally on the wiki. So you can start there. Secondly, you can try to, just like your normal D&D game, adapt some SCP anomalies for the rules. For instance, when I was playing a weekly tabletop RPG of the Dresden Files book series, I love that book series, and the game was fun as well. I had a weekly campaign that ran for 2 years with about 5 to 10 players. It was crazy that we were that ambitious, but it was a great game. The problem was, after the first 3 campaigns, I ran out of ideas and we wanted to keep it running. So that's when I started sneaking some things from the SCP universe into the game, because the Dresden Files is an urban fantasy and the SCP very well fits in urban fantasy. Now, ever since doing that, I've also run some one-shots where I just do things in the SCP universe, and I'm a very rules-light gamer, much more about the role play, not so much about the crunchiness and the numbers, and that's because I always play with actors, so it happens to go that way. So, in that sense, it's more about setting up scenarios than it is just adapting monsters really faithfully to rules. Also, I do believe there is, in fact, a SCP D&D module that is separate that someone made at some point. I don't know about that one for sure, but it could very well exist. Sally, just to let you know, your donation did not get eaten up by the chat. I'm just very far behind on the donations. I need to catch up. In fact, yours is next, as a matter of fact. Dr. Shermaligator. Oh, interesting. Well, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as I guess as a Florida man, that nickname makes sense. Also, grab yourself a cup of calming jasmine tea on your way past the commissary. Your shirt is so cool. Well, thank you again. I have 4 of these different Pokemon-themed Hawaiian shirts, and I enjoy them greatly. Gamer77, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a bowl of gazpacho on your way past the commissary. If I was to make an SCP animated series, am I allowed to use AI? So here's the deal. The rules of the SCP community when it comes to putting things on the wiki absolutely disallow AI in any manner. After all, we are a creative writing community and an arts community. So the idea that someone's going to use generative AI and take work away from the writers and authors very much does not vibe with the SCP community's ethos. And this means that while I guess you could, because SCP is Creative Commons, and you can't copyright AI because it's not created by a human, you would be in a scenario where nobody who likes SCP would like your thing. because nobody who likes SCP likes AI. It is a Venn diagram that is two separate circles. So I highly would not recommend using AI, especially because in an arts community like the SCP Foundation, there are a ton of fan artists who, if you team up with them, will do art for free or very cheap. A lot of SCP artists do it for the love of the game. In fact, when I contract with SCP artists sometimes, I have to make them accept money for their work, because if I'm using things for commercial means, like the channel, or like when I work with a sponsor, like an SCP game, I want to make sure artists get paid. That is my ethos as a content creator. But sometimes hobbyists aren't in that same vein, and I gotta be like, no, take this. It's just fine. Mentally Lost 674, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself one of those Sonic the Hedgehog ice cream bars on your way past the commissary. Do you know the likes of we, Dr. Sherman? Well, I have not looked at your videos or your streams, so I do not know how many likes your streams or videos get. So I do not know of the likes your channel receives, unfortunately. I'll have to check it out. Bro, you're getting old now. Well, Amir, I've worked at the Foundation for over 10 to 15 years now, depending on canon. Yes, at some point, people are going to age. I started here a sprightly young 20-something, and now I am pushing 40, so the time and of age marches on. 22 Red 23, thank you for donating again. I found 7 orange orbs, and a dragon is giving me 3 wishes. Do the Dragon Balls give 3 wishes? I always thought it was 1. I haven't checked in that universe in a while. That's OP. Dr. Sherman doesn't look a day over 30. I do air a little young, which is why I put the gray in my hair with coloring and grew the facial hair so I looked a little older. That way I would check the boxes of being an SCP researcher, because when I look like a very young person, it was kind of hard to believe that I worked at the Foundation. Dr. Pepper Dragon, thank you for donating again. Missing item, 1 vintage ELO vinyl, glows slightly. Okay, well, I do like ELO, but I'm concerned about what their anomaly does compared to Anomalous record does compared to the Anomalous record of the Beatles. I wonder. Leuna, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Spider-Man ice cream bar on your way past the commissary. I can confirm the Eurovision ritual succeeded. So far, we are safe for another year from whatever it seals. My guess is Maestro from Doctor Who. Well, I'm glad to hear the ritual went off without a hitch. That's how we do things at the Foundation. Never any mistakes and world-ending errors. That's us. Dr. Sherman, I have a question. Couldn't you cast SCP-096 in metal so it couldn't, not he couldn't, get the proper pronouns for anomalies, please? They are objects, not people. It is an it. So it couldn't have range to move, break out to stop breaches. Can you give an explanation if it's possible or no? We have canon proof that SCP-096 was able to move the sun, which doesn't make sense in the realm of physics, because from being inside the sun, you wouldn't have leverage to move it anywhere. It's not like 096 was on the far side of the sun, pushing against outer space to move it. So I don't think just casting it in metal is going to work. Omen Heart, thank you for donating again. I've actually got a list of SCP dishes. 999 Jello Cake, 682 Burger, and 504 Tomato Juice. 594 lamb chops, and 111 escargot, to name a few. Okay, you're speaking my language. I would like to see what kind of flourishes and spices you're using on these, because we can't have just plain Jane anomalous foods. Alright, so, the one I'm really worried about there is the 504 tomato juice, because I would be very afraid that if you told a bad joke, that it would shoot from the glass up your nose and drown you. That sounds what 504 would do there. Now, that being said, I wouldn't have to worry about that because I've never told a bad joke. So, I mean, I'm totally safe to enjoy such a delectable beverage, but other people should be afraid. I'm being informed that Namekian Dragon Balls did 3 wishes. Thank you, Desk, for the update. What if we dip the screaming tree in acid? You know what? I can't see your name because my browser just reset. Give me one moment. Oh, I'm gonna lose your chat. I'm sorry I can't shout out your name, but I am answering your question. I would like to try it. I'm just worried that if we destroy too much of the tree, there won't be anything left to test. So we gotta be careful on how much destruction that we bring upon the tree. We can't destroy it and therefore not have it around to make it scream anymore. That would be a problem. Drowsy, sorry for being late. Oh, no problem at all, Drowsy. Thank you for being a member. Don't worry, we are only 70 minutes into a 3-hour stream, so you are still here for the majority. Noob, I'm leaving this place. It's too creepy. Understandable. The Foundation is not a good home for most people who cannot handle the abject horrors. So if it's not your speed, then good luck in your further endeavors in a non-horror-centric area. Dr. Pepper Dragon, thank you for donating again. Missing item, 1 red 1958 Plymouth Fury, license plate Christine, unknown anomaly awaiting testing. How would you sneak a whole car out of here? Well, you'd give it to Dr. Gerald, it would go through the wall to the outdoors. That idiot. 051, good to see you in the chat. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a blueberry waffle on your way past the commissary. Hey, Dr. Sherman, we were through the multiverse and I've always wondered, did you ever thought the computer was once anomalous? We were through the multiverse and I have always wondered, did you ever thought the computer was once anomalous? I need to know which specific computer you're talking about because we know a bunch of anomalous computers. 079 is an anomalous computer. There are other anomalous computers, so I need more intel, please. Oni Mask, thank you for being a member as well as your first donation to today's stream, as well as being an all-around stand-up member of the Site-42 community. If you make your own SCP game, and more specifically one set in Site-42, what would it be? Alright. Desk is informing me that one of the 001's, quote, a good boy, as the code name, is a computer. So that one's anomalous as well. Thank you, Desk. So, as to Onimask's question, talking about a game and one set in Site-42. So, here are the 2 kinds of games that if I knew someone who could program a game, if I knew someone to do the art for the game, if I had an unlimited budget to make them do this as their job so that they would make this game and be able to live off of it, that way they could focus, there are 2 games I would want. The 2 games I would want. One is only a very loose concept. I just want an SCP game, that is an RPG game, an RPG Maker style story-based SCP game. You're gonna go through the site, you're gonna talk to different anomalies, you're gonna talk to different researchers and staff members, you're going to encounter various anomalies in combat during containment breaches. I just want a story-based SCP RP style game. That's first. Second, a little more ambitious, or actually a little less ambitious, I think. And I'm actually doing 3 game ideas here. The second game I have in mind is basically what if Fallout Shelter was SCP themed. I want to contain anomalies. I want a base builder. Honestly, if I could get something like Zombie Run, where you're building a base as part of the game, and then you have SCP podcast and containment breach scenarios and containment scenarios where you're going running for a jog, so it also encourages fitness for the Foundation Fitness Initiative. Mwah! Zombies Run, base builder, SCP game, Fallout Shelter. Oh, I would be all over that myself. And finally, here's the crazy game. Here's the game that is impossible to make, but it is the dream. One of my favorite SCPs is SCP-3999, which, if you are unfamiliar, is researcher James Talleyrand is being infinitely, multiversally, time-travel-y tortured by a reality bender, which is SCP-3999. And it does all sorts of crazy things to researcher Talleyrand. It obviously eviscerates Talleyrand and brings them back to life. It obviously murders Talleyrand's whole family and brings them back to life. It makes researcher Talleyrand live through an entire happy life before resending it back to the beginning. It also shoves researcher Talleyrand into multiple different SCPs for torture's sake. It also shoves researcher Talleyrand into multiple literature universes to torture him. And so, what I would want is I would not want one person to make this game. I would like to get 50 different game devs. I'd like a team of game devs who could make their own single level of this game in different game styles, where you open the game and it is let's say it's an RPG Maker game. You're researcher Talleyrand. You walk around, you're trying to run from monsters, it's spooky, and then you get got, and you die. And then you're shunted to a first-person shooter level, and you have to go through killing demons and picking up power-ups and trying to get through, and then you find a secret exit that takes you to the rhythm game level. And if you survive the rhythm game level, you go to the Subnautica level, and if you don't succeed at the rhythm game, you go to the Five Nights at Freddy's level. And so you're going through different kinds of games as Talleyrand, trying to get to the end, and there's different levels, different genres of games, different secret passages, and you can make an ARG-style secret background lore with multiple endings. Of this is the ending where Talleyrand goes crazy. This is the ending where Talleyrand defeats 999. This is the secret ending where Talleyrand was 399 the entire time. And so that is the dream game. But oh my god, the resources that would be necessary. So, yes. Onimask, long story short, those are three questions that I would like. Those are three games I would like to answer your question. Whew. Yes. Talleyrand is they, them, non-binary. I know, I kept flipping on the pronouns there. Got confused while I was telling the story. Sraymak, what SCP is this? Lol, what? So this was 3 game concepts for SCP games that I would like to see in the world, for the type of gamer I am. That is all that was. Mentally Lost, thank you for donating again. Forgive our meaning, our tongue is old. We meant, do you know of our existence on your planes of reality? If so, then how? Honestly, I am unfamiliar with your existence. I don't even know if you're in my plane of reality or contacting me from a different plane of reality. So, I would like more information of who thou art so that we can properly understand thee And definitely not contain the unless that's what you would agree to. I mean, not unless you wanna, unless you wanna. That's all. J Pendragon, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some hummus on your way past the commissary. Have we ever tested how little pixels of 096's face you have to see to get killed? If not, I'm not testing that. Well, we know 4 does it, and I'm not keen to try 3, 2, and 1, because why would we waste 3D class for that? $22Red23, thank you for donating again. A platypus wearing a fedora is outside my door. Well, that doesn't sound too worrying. I'm not worried about a platypus. I mean, I don't know why there's a platypus in the site. They're not anomalous. But maybe it's an anomalous platypus. Do we have an anomalous platypus in our ranks? SCP Platypus. 6128 is the corpse of a platypus that is a magnet for other platypus corpses. But your platypus is alive, so it's not 6218. 8042, good number, is a platypus. It is a platypus with an obsession with finances and displays a manic desire to maintain them for any entity it encounters. Oh, it's a wonderful accountant. Yes. See if the platypus wants to do your taxes. That might be why it's dressed so dapperly with a fine hat. Leuna, thank you for donating again. Can you give a brief on Lilly's proposal? Ah, yes. My favorite SCP-001 is Lilly's proposal. A World Gone Beautiful, or The World's Gone Beautiful. What is it actually titled? Is it The World or The Worlds? As in apostrophe. The World Gone Beautiful. Google. Do 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 do. Where is it? Where are you at? The World Has Gone Beautiful. So The World's Gone Beautiful is the name of the thing. So Lilly's proposal is just a thing we know from other universes that have ended. It is an anomalous phenomena where right before the world ends, flowers bloom everywhere. It becomes very beautiful and peaceful. The weather everywhere becomes perfect. And people just get to hang out and be chill as the world comes to an end. And honestly, if that is how the world ends, that's the way I want it to end. Especially because if that's how the world ends, then 2718 probably won't apply, which would make me very happy. Hybrid Neo, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a chocolate chip cookie on your way past the commissary. Do you have any spare rooms? The nearby hotels are full. Well, we do have some empty containment chambers since Dr. Moon stole all of those anomalies. So if you want to stay in a containment cell, we got a couple extra right now. Abi, hi, I just finished a fundraiser. Did it go well? I hope it went well, whatever you were fundraising for, as long as it was a good thing and not like child murder. I hope you weren't fundraising for child murder. That would not be a good thing. Sun looking a bit gooped. Oh, Leaf just became gooped. Oh well. O51, thank you for donating again. The computer in general, like when you were a Foundation scientist for the first time and find out all the anomalous PCs or machines, did you thought maybe your PC could have been anomalous? Well, not specifically my PC, but I do know that SkipNet is in fact anomalous in some universes, or at least employs sentient anomalous AI. So there are anomalous living things in my computer in that case. But not my computer in and of itself, I don't believe. We raised over $30,000 for scholarships. Oh, that does sound like a good thing, so congratulations. Kai the Angel, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some ambrosia on your way past the commissary. Could SCP Foundation, handle reality anchors not existing? Well, the reality anchors did not exist until much later in the Foundation's existence. Let's say in the 1800s, we had to use old salt and grit to get containment of anomalies. So, yeah, we did just fine back in the old days. I'm keeping the female lizard for my personal uses. Stone Miner, you are doing no such thing. You have lost my trust with that statement. Howdy, Clone378. Good to see you in the chat, and thank you for being a member. Dr. Sherman, I'm lost in the Wanderer's Library. Send backup, please. Oh, boy. Listen. I don't know how you got in there, but they absolutely won't let me or any security forces I send in. They've got all of my systems bugged. Only if I'm trying to get in. So I can't help you with that one. You're going to have to find your way out. Is SCP-113 like other minerals and be found almost anywhere? Not to our knowledge. It seems like the gender-switching stone SCP-113 is a unique stone. It was probably just a pretty stone until it was, like, blessed by some sort of deity or something like that. So, unfortunately, we can't just mine for the gender-bending stone, to my knowledge. Omen Heart, thank you for donating again. One last thing, I'm looking for an SCP wardrobe. I believe SCP-999 would look good in a suit, which I'm not lying about. I could also use extra storage. SCP-999 is a rectangular blob of slime. How would it wear a suit? It doesn't have limbs. Someone draw me a gelatinous cube in a suit. Or first of all, just let me see if I find one online. Someone might have already done that. Gelatinous slime in a suit. Images. Okay, so I'm finding a lot of Minecraft. Blue slime in a tuxedo. Got you. I guess that's the closest I'm gonna get. Alas. And that's just a human-shaped slime, so that doesn't even count. Onimass Productions, thank you for donating again. All great ideas. As a game dev, they're probably more doable than you think, especially if you go with a community open source collaboration project. Oh, probably. One of the things I'm going to have to do once I have the resources to help people out is figure out how to organize such a crew. Because I am a community organizer, both in my day job and as an SCP creator, as well as a, good teacher, but I teach things that I know. Dance and SCP knowledge. I do not teach game development because I don't know game development. So it would be an interesting adventure, but perhaps I could team up with somebody who could help me do that. Ten Tails Gaming, thank you for donating again. Hey, Dr. Chairman. Chairman of the board, that's me, all right, just like old Blue Eyes. If you could RP in Grand Theft Auto RP, would you go to JMW Films GTA RP, as it does have an SCP Foundation in their server, or where would you go? Well, considering I'm not familiar with any GTA RPs, I would probably have to pick the one you just mentioned because it has an SCP and Foundation, and that makes it cooler than the ones that don't. Dr. Pepper Dragon, thank you for donating again. Missing item, one Nerf football, hovers for half a second. So that's just a log of anomalous items, simple anomaly, not anything complicated enough to be an SCP. I get it. Okay. Well, that's not a big loss. It would be nice to get it, though, so people don't find it and learn about the anomalous and all. May I politely take this weird crab-looking thing? It's my first day on the job, and it looks like it's made of fingers and cute. Can I take it? You may not take the floating hand spider anywhere except for a walk around the site yard. That is the only place you may take that anomaly. O51, thank you for donating again. Question, I don't remember how old the Foundation is. The more time passes, the more my memories are replaced in my memory core and hard drives. Well, that makes sense, and especially with the different universes. Sometimes we were founded in the 1800s. Sometimes we were formed in the 1500s. Sometimes we were formed in the 90s. Different foundations for different time zones and eras and universes. So it's really hard to keep track, honestly. There is no canon, after all. By the way, Site-42 staff and greater SCP Foundation staff, I just want to warn you, we have reached 90 minutes in this stream, which means we are 90 minutes left in this stream. We're at the halfway mark. J Pendragon, thank you for donating again. Help, I've accidentally touched a space-time paradox, and now I predate and post-date King Arthur by about 1,000 years simultaneously. Oh, so you're the bread in a King Arthur sandwich, you're saying? Tasty. Well, I do in fact hope that you find a way to exist in one time zone alone, and that you make good use of your current predicament while you can. Drowsy, the answer you were looking for there was thank you 90, I think. Schlongy Banana, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Go get yourself a scoop of ice cream to have with your banana on your way past the commissary. Please help, Anomalous Turtle has breached containment. Ha, just gave Drowsy the flashbacks. I now have the chat reaction with the 30-second timer to see that. That's funny. All right, so SCP Turtle. Which SCP could have breached and how much trouble are you in? 8100 is a phenomenon that affects turtle species, but it's not so much the turtle itself. 698 is a jade carving of a turtle. That's not it. 3187 is an anomalously large sea turtle. It is proportioned normally, but its body covers 500,000 square meters. It's a big fucking turtle. $5063 is an empty lidless can of mock turtle soup. SCP-1488 is a partially roboticized species of tortoises. So robo-turtles. I like that. That's cool. SCP-3465 is an anomaly affecting Western painted turtles, but not the turtles themselves. So actually, I don't really greatly see an anomalous turtle that would be contained in Site for you to have found breach. That's interesting. Leaf, I'm very curious as to what your new favorite Dr. Sherman quote is. Robo-turtles. That's a good quote. Also, if you are familiar with early stand-up comics of the 2000s, the voice I used to say Robo-turtles is the same as they use in the song Robo Boogie by Flight of the Conchords, both in their stand-up as well as their television show of the same name. Robo Boogie. Omen Heart, thank you for donating again. You missed the reference. Wardrobe, Lion, and Witch. Oh, I did miss that, didn't I? Yeah, I'm not a huge Narnia buff, actually. That is I've seen the first movie, I didn't keep up with the rest. And also, it's another universe I haven't visited in my time. I've spent more time in the Catboy universe than I have in the Narnia wardrobe, so... Oh, I see the pun you did there. I see what you did. Okay, that was a pretty good reference. I applaud you for that. Mentally Lost, thank you for donating again. We are all things that shall not be found, therefore we are lost. We serve the king that is scarlet, they wish for our finding. We shall now help you. I do not want help from a servant of the Scarlet King. I trust no one who serves the Scarlet King, because your help will probably end our universe. You just stay on the outskirts where you are and don't bother us who are doing non-SCP things. Do the floss, do the floss. Look at yesterday's stream. The floss is right there for you. I'm in a very tight laboratory quarters. I cannot do the floss where I am right now. What is your favorite SCP? Well, Raz Valentina, I always say my favorite SCPs at the end of stream, which is just about 85 minutes away. But if you really want to know now, you can go to a previous stream and you can watch the end of that stream, because I probably did it there too. Why is there a female SCP-682 in my bathroom? Well, Jordan, someone earlier transformed 682 into a femme 682, and now it's probably in your powder room trying to hide from all the demon daters that want to get all freaky with it, because even it knows we don't fraternize with the anomalies. So just make sure when those people come by your dormitory, just wave them by so that they don't find 682, and then we'll eventually get 682, the gender-switching stone, to switch back, and back to its acid bath safely. What is the number of total SCPs? Well, 100% man, I can tell you that with a little sneaky trick I know. What I do is I go onto the SCP Wiki, and I go to the bottom of any article, and I click on the tag that says SCP, because the tag system allows you to find SCPs with certain subject matters based on what they're tagged as. And when I click the SCP tag, it shows me every article tagged with SCP, of which there are scrolling. There are 9,228 pages on the wiki database tagged with the tag SCP. So it seems like between the English language ones as well as translations from other languages, we are looking at 9,228. Meanwhile, if you go to the foreign language branches, you'll find more SCPs on theirs as well. So it's quite a number, Raz, alrighty, first time on stream. Well, welcome to stream. I hope you're enjoying your time here at the Site-42 office hours. I am here, your SCP educator. You can ask any SCP questions you want answered, and I will do my best to give you a response in a timely manner. Dr. Clef is a former servant of the Scarlet King. Yeah, but former, come on. Someone tried the gender-switching stone on 682. Its reactive anomaly therefore changed everyone else around it to the opposing gender. Boom, perfect testing idea. Well, that must have been an awkward day at the facility. Woof. Clone, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a I think you should grab yourself some roast gungan on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, I appear to have encountered a strange group of automatons. They keep responding to each other with Roger, Roger. Who's Roger? Oh, no, there is no Roger. I also say Roger, Roger all the time. Based on this, actually. It's just worked its way into my lexicon. But it is just a radio call symbol, so nothing to worry about. It just is the same as saying affirmative. J. Pendragon, thank you for donating again. What do you think of the idea that a time paradox that causes things to exist in two separate times simultaneously, would that make an interesting SCP? I almost think that we might have an anomaly that makes you exist in multiple time periods, but I'm not sure. SCP makes you exist in multiple time periods. Let's see what we get. SCP-4800 merges parallel timelines. Yeah, that's too specific for me to search for if it already exists. But I'm sure, whether it exists or not, it can make for some interesting stories of having someone who is in the past and the future. I think that is easily capable of telling a good story. $22 Red 23, thank you for donating again. Come into the light, Dr. Sherman. So you've been gooboyed, haven't you? Unfortunate. Well, I am not going out into the sunlight in that universe, that's for sure. Dr. Sherman, why are you banned from the Wanderer's Library? For no good reason. Because the snakes are racist against jailers. Bunch of punks. Bunch of hippies. It's rude. They have all the knowledge in the universe and they won't share. Absolutely rude and not hypocritical of me at all to be mad about, I must say. I must say. What is your opinion of Dr. Gears and Dr. Iceberg's relationship, mainly referring to that story? I'm not sure what story you're talking about there, but maybe it's just slipping my mind because I've been streaming for an hour and a half, and so I'm a little loopy on the stream high. But as far as I know, Iceberg is a pretty decent therapist. Is that... I was going to say, is that desk is going fanfic? So it's also making me think, is that the Gears Iceberg ship that's very Tumblr happy? I, in fact, have no opinion on the relationships of fellow researchers. That is their business. Oh, dear God. Desk, how could you do this to me? Raz, are you referring to a tale on the wiki called Sex at Frigid Temperature, by chance? Because that's what Desk found, and I'm... But yeah, Gears X Iceberg is half of Tumblr. Wow, yeah, I did know something about that. Because the snakes are racist. Oh, thanks, I'll just use that sentence with zero context. You're welcome, Ansan. Leaf, thank you for what I actually believe is your first donation. You became a member earlier, but but I don't know if you donated after that. I will double check to be sure. Yes, this is your first donation to today's stream, so help yourself to, let me tell you this, go get yourself a chili dog with cheddar cheese, mustard, and onions on your way past the commissary. The God chili dog, I call it. Would a staff member with a self-isolated probability distortion field, greater than 3% of major negative, prone to clumsiness to balance stuff, need to be contained, tested, or documented? Sim 2 Hidden Curse. Thoughts? So, yeah, this sounds exactly like SCP-7000, which is Dr. William Weddle of the SCP Foundation, I believe Site-43. Dr. William Weddle is literally the anomaly you just listed, where anomalously bad things happen to Dr. William Weddle. Yes. So I think it not only would make a good SCP, but I think it is a great SCP. And you can check out how it is tested and contained on the wiki at SCP-7000. Meanwhile, I finished your fan art, Dr. Sherman. Oh, very cool, Sally. I look forward to seeing where you tag that, and I can pull that up. I'll keep an eye out on the social medias for that. Dr. William Wettle is me for real. That's a Wettle, W-E-T-T-L-E. Dr. William Weddle is the bad luck SCP guy, doctor, man. Agent Mowell, thank you for, is this your first donation or second donation today? I have a feeling it's your second. It is your second. Thank you for donating again. And you know I'm not picky. You can go grab yourself a Twix if you want at the commissary. Dr. Pepper Dragon, thank you for donating again. Missing item, 1 Simpsons complete VHS box set. Automatically expands and updates to current season episode. Not gonna lie, I wish I had that. Yeah, even a bad Simpsons episode is a good time, so I'm not gonna complain about that. Mentally Lost, thank you for donating again. We bind the King of Scarlet to life only for our entertainment, but to be found is our doom. We inquire such help as yours, we want to stay lost. Oh, like the pattern screamers. Yes, if you keep the Scarlet King from invading us, we will definitely delete knowledge of you so that less people know about you. We do the same thing with SCP-3930, 3930, very similar. We can handle that for you. So, we gotcha. We're great at that. Alulbert, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Go get yourself a Chicago-style hot dog on your way past the commissary. Hey, science guy. Bill. If I was an anomaly, what would I be? Go wild, darlin'. Well, since you've given me nothing to go on except for this message, I'm going to claim that you are some sort of anomalous humanoid living in the South because of Darlin. You have the gall to ask random questions of an SCP researcher, which means you are either antagonistic to the Foundation or in with the Foundation and therefore feel like you're safe from repercussions. I believe you probably are able to talk to trees. That's what I think your anomaly is. You can speak to the trees. You are the Lorax. And so, honestly, I need you to come over to Site-42 and help me make this tree scream. I'll make it worth your while. Agent Seb, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a black coffee on your way past the commissary. I walked into my local Walmart and got greeted with Mobile Task Force Squad trying to chase 999, riding 173 with 096's picture. Also, I am screwed as I saw it. Wow, your universe is fucked up. And, yeah, I guess thanks for telling me to inform your superiors of your impending doom. I hope they can close down that Walmart. Good luck. Well, Good luck to them, not to you. You're going to perish. Dr. Sherman, what would be the processes after 001 daybreak is detected? What would you do, and what would SCPs like 179, 343, or even 999 do during an Apollyon level event? So, a couple things. Number one, most of the world would just die. That's the end of that. B, those of the Foundation that would survive would collaborate over whatever signals we could still get, because remember, once everyone dies, the power plants are going to cut out. The signals that we can send are going to be severely reduced, so we'll lose a lot during that. But obviously we would try to form some sort of collective solution to our survival. Right? It probably wouldn't be pretty. 343 would not help at all. 343 is known for being a loser that leaves us to our own devices. The dick. 179, depending on what it is made of, might even be fleshified. But if it's a celestial entity and not physical like that, then it might just hang out there being sad that we died. In fact, I feel like there was a tale I read where, if I'm remembering this correctly, that Salsasaur was let me double check this before I start being funky about it. No, I don't want a video of it. All right, let me go to the tale and see where they wrote it on the wiki, because usually he writes these. SCP cards and merch. Brett Eggs file. No. What I remember is that when day breaks, the sun has a sentience that is going to kill all humans, because it's a dick. But Salsasaur instead curses us to turn into flesh beings as a way of keeping us alive. That's the story I remember. I don't remember Salsasaur dying in that tale, though. Good Lord, I didn't think of that. After when day breaks, no one would be around for our current nuclear power plants. That's horrifying. Yeah, that would be bad. All the nuke sites would be in trouble. Unfailing Eagle, thank you for donating for the first time today, I believe. And so make sure you grab yourself a cream puff on your way past the commissary. Yesterday was the Obliterator virus. Today I should inject SCP-682 with FEV. Oh, son of a... Sometimes the game was just rigged from the start, man. Well, great. We have a superhuman, or sorry, a super mutant 682 that is also feminized. That's way too much mix and match with 682. This is getting out of hand. J Pendragon, thank you for donating again. If I had a drachma for every time I've been removed from normal space-time, I've had 2 drachma, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice. You know, once you get sucked out of the time stream one time, you seem to find ways to get sucked out of the time stream again. It's like the Bader-Meinhof phenomena. If you know about something all of a sudden, you see it everywhere, you think it's more common than it actually is. So too is time travel. You get a taste of it, and then it keeps invading your life and making your life really annoying to deal with. 22 Red 23, thank you for donating again. SCP-096's face has been leaked on the internet. Well, yeah, a couple of years ago, Elon tweeted it. It was really annoying. But, yep, we were able to cover up the deaths, as we do, and things turned out fine. So we'll just have the AI bring it down before it's seen too much, and we will use IP tracking to find the soon-to-be corpses. Dr. Sherman, I am a fox man. Does that make me an anomaly? Yes. Unless you are from a universe in which fox men are the dominant species. In which case, in your universe, you are not anomalous, but if you came to our universe, you would be anomalous twice over. Once for being a fox man, twice for being a universe traveler. Mentally lost, thank you for donating again. To be known but not found is to be lost. To be found is to be as is. To not be known is to not have existed. The Scarlet One seeks us. We must stay lost. No, I get you. Yeah, that's easy. We hide things from public knowledge all the time. You will be lost. We hide things that we don't even know about because we erase our own memory of the thing we're hiding very often. So, no, you'll be fine. You'll be so unknown. You'll be so lost. You'll be sitting here going, wow, how lost are we? I didn't imagine we could be so lost. I know. It's going to be crazy how lost you are. You look forward to it. You're going to have a good time. Who wins, Reggie or 049? Well, Mr. Abyssal, Reggie certainly has a lot more firepower. That being said, I will not allow Reggie to destroy SCP-049 because we cannot run further tests on 049 if that happens. So, no destroying anomalies, even if the death matches would be entertaining. Dr. Sherman, multiple staff members are saying that the Scarlet King is outside of Site-42. I'm scared. Just one moment. Hey! Cut that out! All right. It's bugged off, nothing to worry about. Agent Seb, thank you for donating again. 999 here. The coffee was good, but the Walmart became IKEA SCP, so 173 recontained. Also clean up in aisle 5. Mobile Task Force decided to die there. Also free candy. That is so many different things in one message. The Mobile Task Force died. That's not good. So we will have to hire more staff. Free candy. No, you can't just steal. You can't just steal. If anything ends up in the Infinite IKEA, it does not qualify as contained because it's just free to roam. We don't hide things in the Infinite IKEA because if they find the door, they're just free. So no, that is not recontained. Clone, thank you for donating again. The automatons seem to be departing to something called a droid factory. Pursuing, but keeping my distance. Mobile Task Force reinforcements may be required. You're going to need more than a Mobile Task Force. Like, our Mobile Task Force is only something between, 5 to 50 force members. These are Mobile Task Forces. They're not an army. You're not going up against a droid army successfully. Fall back and get intel. We will solve this with diplomacy with the creators of the droid army if needed. 22 Red 23, thank you for donating again. Are the SCP Foundation a Pokemon master? Well, we do gotta catch them all. So, in a way, you could say yes. Dr. Sherman, please stop sending troops to take my void creature. Put your void creature in a box where it belongs, and we won't have to send troops to get it. Come on, son. You know how it is. Osman asks, can I ever be an SCP? Well, are you anomalous? And are you anomalous? And can you therefore go into an SCP box and be classified an SCP? If so, the answer might be yes. J Pendragon, thank you for donating again. Didn't realize the Japanese copyright lawyers were so scary that you are apathetic to the Scarlet King. Well, trust me. I have seen some scary things in my day. I am not easily terrified. After all, once you've dealt with SCP-729-J, you can deal with anything. What's your favorite SCP? Well, Burb, I always recite my favorite SCPs to you at the end of stream, which according to my clock is 1 hour from now. So, 1 hour from now, I'll tell you my favorite SCPs. If you really need to know sooner, you can either donate or talk someone to donating to ask, because I'll answer that as a donation if you want. Or you can just go back to a previous stream real quick and watch the end of stream, because I do it every stream, and so usually that's how it goes. Desk is complimenting someone's question. I want to know what their question was. If Desk is complimenting your question, I want to know. I want to know what it was. Are there any SCP facilities on the moon? Yes, we do have multiple moon bases. SCP Lunar Base. So, SCP Lunar Base. Lunar Area 32 is a well-known SCP Lunar Base. Secure Facility Dossier Lunar Area 32. Surface level. As per Security Regulation MIA 32, all images of the Mare Imbrium region are altered to remove the presence of Lunar Area 32 and anomalous phenomena. Only the buildings on this level are visible on the lunar surface. And at Lunar Area 32, we contain SCP-2493, SCP-2651, SCP-2686, SCP-2821, EE-3570, SCP-3609, SCP-3655, SCP-4379, SCP-4731, SCP-4905, SCP-5775, SCP-7470, SCP-8815. Those are all contained at Lunar Area 32. And I know for a fact that that's not the only moon base. For instance, I don't believe that they mentioned SCP... Wait. They did mention that one. Yes, they mentioned one of my favorite moon-based anomalies, which is SCP-2686, the Moon Wizard. The Moon Wizard, as you can probably guess, is a wizard who lives on the moon! The Moon Wizard is freaking great. And so, yes, 2686 lives on the moon and is up there next to Lunar Base 32. There are other moon bases as well, but I'm going to let you discover those through your own searches. Mentally Lost, thank you for donating again. We reside in one, he wishes to speak, and I accept such proposal, Doctor, as long as you keep me entertained more than the Scarlet One. Till then... Oh, trust me. The Scarlet King is not nearly as entertaining as I and the rest of the Foundation are. Have you seen the LOL Foundation era? Have you seen the Looney Tunes shit we end up getting up to? Trust me. There's a reason I'm still in this community 15 years after I showed up and 17 years after it was created. It's because this shit is bananas, spelled out in lettering that you all know how to spell due to a cognitohazard that we released because I was annoyed that people were not spelling bananas correctly. Agent Seb, thank you for donating again. Rest of Mobile Task Force on strike as security get more budget. Listen, we're all under budgetary strain right now. Did you know that I had to get my coffee from a locally sourced bean farm? I can't get my extravagant coffee budget anymore because of the budget reductions. We're all suffering here, okay? It's not just you. Get to work. Dr. Pepper Dragon, thank you for donating again. Missing item, 1 pallet of Nintendos, awaiting test. Ooh. Slide one of those into my dormitory. I'll give it a good test. Clone, thank you for donating again. Understood. We'll report back as soon as I have actionable intelligence. But by the looks of things, unsure if diplomacy is an option here, Doctor. Well, listen, we have a great team for negotiating and working with other groups of interest. And if the trade routes that they are fighting over are as tenuous as they say they are, it is possible that we'll actually be very helpful in calming tensions and containing any anomalies involved. J Pendragon, thank you for donating again. How did... Oh my god, wait a minute. Oh wow, the likes are way more than the viewers. You guys are kicking ass on today's stream. Holy cow, hit that like button to keep the train going, but you're already kicking butt, team. Site-42 staff knows how to roll. How did the Foundation react to Gru stealing the moon? Oh, I ordered that. It was when the spider moon resurfaced for the 3rd time. We needed to get rid of the moon, that way there wouldn't be a spider moon. And so, once that happened, I went and chartered for a secondary moon from another universe. And so we replaced our moon. It was all a very simple process. Gru did a great job. We appreciate that help. Chaos Knight, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab a pint of mead on your way past the commissary. I can't get in trouble. It would result in my roaming privileges getting revoked. You are correct about that, Zerdrin. Stay on the straight and narrow. Good job. How are amnestics made? Well, there's several different universes and several different methods of manufacturing both amnestics and nestics. But of course, the famous one everyone knows about is that we are able to derive amnestics from SCP-3000's secretions. So that is the most famous method of making SCPs anyone knows about. How's it going? Well, thank you, Cinnobum, for your first donation to today's stream. It's going quite well today, I think. I think we're having a very good office hours. And meanwhile, grab yourself a cruller on your way past the commissary. J Pendragon, thank you for donating again, simply to correct your spelling. Much appreciated. I'm glad I was able to answer regardless. Silent Follower, thank you for donating again. This shit is bananas, B-A-N-A-N-A-S. See, the cognitohazard works. That's what I like. Chaos Knight, thank you for donating twice in a row. How is Shy Guy still in containment, Dr. Sherman? Well, because as long as no one has actively seen Shy Guy's face, 096 just stays in its cell crying. So as long as we get rid of every picture of it from the world, we can keep 096 contained rather easily. The problem is just when a new picture shows up and we got to go hunt it down, clean up the bodies, disinformation campaign, destroy the photo, yada, yada, yada. What happens if a terrorist group uses 096's picture and hacks into the country's TV networks? What does the Foundation do? Well, remember, the Foundation did that on purpose in SCP-5000. We've literally done that. Now, if it weren't us that were doing that, and instead it were someone and we didn't want that to happen, well, we would do what I just said. We would need to clean up the mess. We would need to provide a disinformation campaign that showed that nothing happened. And we'd have to essentially destroy the terrorist cell that used the picture. That way they could no longer use the picture and we could destroy their version of the picture. That's what we'd have to do. And I mean, remember, we contain the fact that Massachusetts is not a real state and doesn't exist. What is Massachusetts? SCP-4000 something? SCP-4006. SCP-4006 is that the state of Massachusetts doesn't exist. So if you think that we can't contain a small country and make sure no one knows anything's wrong there, remember, we already contain a state so that nothing happens there. Hey jailer, your stream is leaking into the Wanderer's Library. I'm accessing it from here. Lamau. Oh, you think you're so clever. Hoity-toity snake, listening in on the jailers. Frickin' hippie, not letting us use the infinite knowledge to protect humanity. I'm a selfish hippie snake, and I'm gonna sit here, Listen, you just shut up. You just shut up. Chaos Knight, thank you for donating again. Mobile Task Force is ready for a containment breach? Always. Our task forces are always ready for work. Hey doctor, I'm out of medical right now. Everyone's fine. Anyway, do you think I could get some infinite cake that I was promised? Also, does Site-42 have Magic the Gathering and or D&D nights? So A, I'm glad you're out of medical and that everyone's doing well. B, the infinite cake has been unfortunately shipped to another site for their birthday parties for the month. So that's not going to work, but you can instead have some regular cake at the commissary. And yes, certain staff members do have Magic the Gathering and D&D nights here at Site-42, and so you can go find a crew to run a campaign with if you like. Game night is always a good way to unwind after a long day of testing. Agent Seb, thank you for donating again. Chaos Insurgency called it quits, so pizza party? I am pretty sure the Chaos Insurgency wouldn't just call it quits, so let's interrogate the situation some more with a suspicious eye. We're not gonna have a pizza party to celebrate just yet. Be anomalous, do crime? No, Zirdrin, do not do crime. Crime is the opposite of good behavior. Chaos Knight, thank you for donating again. Good, the O5 Council will be glad to hear that, Doctor. Excellent, I'm sure they will. Mentally Lost, thank you for donating again. How is the one we cut out? We laugh at its attempts to remain lost, making others lost because they witness its face. Such entertainment. Well, I'm not exactly certain which one is the one you cut out. I'm going to need more information there. Is it something we have contained as well, separate from you, or is it just out and about and we need to lock it in a box because we can't have things running around that are anomalous like that? Do you happen to have the exact time your security shift changes? I'm just curious. Totally not asking because of present hostile forces. I mean, never mind. Well, never mind, I guess. J. Pendragon, thank you for donating again. Massachusetts doesn't exist. My cousin lives there. Are my memories of my cousin fake? No. So look into this more in the SCP-4006 document. Make sure to read it so you understand the fullness of the anomaly. But as a quick primer, all that happens is that everyone who thinks they live in Massachusetts actually live on the borders of the state nearest other states that they live in. So people who live on the Rhode Island side or the New York side, there are people who live in the bordering states on the line, and they all think they're in Massachusetts. And everyone around them also thinks they're in Massachusetts. So that's why it's a cognitohazard that no one really... We don't have to do a lot to contain it. It's pretty easy, actually. Everyone just thinks they're somewhere they're not. So no, your cousin's not fake. They just live near Massachusetts, but not in it, but think they live in Massachusetts. Quite peculiar, actually. Dr. Pepper Dragon, thank you for donating again. See you, boss. Shifts over and I have 1001 forms to file. Oh, I do love the sound of paperwork getting done. We are a family built in bureaucracy, as I've heard it said. Chaos Knight, thank you for donating again. Any containment breaches recently? No, we're chugging along great here. Secured, contained, and protected. Like a boss. Mentally Lost, thank you for donating again. 096, your planes call them. Such sorrow, such fun. Oh, well, yes. I am very glad that 096 stays in a box so that we can keep people from seeing it as well. That makes our lives easier as a containment community. Dr. Sherman likes Gravity Falls? Yes. It is a wonderful little borough in the Pacific Northwest with, you know, a lot of work to contain, but there's some good people there. And, you know, their in-house team at the Mystery Shack do a good job of keeping containment, so... And they keep impeccable records with those journals, so... Very helpful. Dr. Sherman, what is the name of that SCP that happens on October 32nd? I'm not familiar with this one. SCP-6439 is a temporal anomaly taking the form of an extra 24-hour period per calendar year. The anomaly is accompanied by an amnestic effect. It can only be perceived under specific circumstances and through specific methods. Researchers assigned to SCP-6439 believe this amnestic effect is caused by SCP-6439-1. Consult the addendum materials for further information. So, October 32nd is SCP-6439, and the code name for SCP-6439 is... It's literally called October 32nd. There's no fancy name. It's just called October 32nd. So there you go. Happy to help. Thanks, Doc. You're quite welcome. What is After Hours for, if not for me answering your SCP questions? Chaos Knight, thank you for donating again. Good, that will be all, Doctor. Thank you for your time. Yes, keep up the good work. Clone, thank you for donating again. Just overheard one of the droids beat about encountering something called a Jedi Knight by the name of Skywalker. Why does that name sound familiar? We might have to check in the SkipNet databases, see if there's anything in the archives about that. I feel like there might be some sort of prophecy about a Skywalker, but it's not it's not coming to mind right now any further. Why is everyone asking for help from Shy Guy? Once you see him, you're just dead. Canine Cat, that is one of the smartest things I've heard anyone say today regarding 096. If you ask for help, you're just done. It's not if you ask for help. If you see 096, you're done. So there's nothing I can do to help you. I mean, come on. Yeah, like you, animatronics. I think I saw 096's face. Can you do anything to help? The only way we can help you is if you are on the absolute other end of the planet from 096, because that might give us time to help you. It is possible we can use amnestics of a very high grade to erase every single iota of neuron that remembers 096's face, and maybe that will save you. On top of which, you will probably be completely lobotomized, so not much of a life anyways. Dr. Sherman, where is the effing tickle monster? If you tell me, I will bless the Foundation with knowledge of your downfall. The Scarlet King, allow me to be the first to give you a big... Honent, good to see you in the chat. Thank you for being a member. Did you hear about that one Russian SCP called Ichipunk Myaselev? I am unfamiliar with that anomaly, but you'll have to tell me more. Dr. Sherman, I suggest you play RimWorld Anomaly and do not give it to the SCP-682 before it gets any idea. It gets any ideas, not he. Get your pronouns right. Anomalies are objects, not people. Don't humanize them. 682 is an it. Oh, I got so distracted by correcting you there that your message is gone from the chat, so I didn't see the end of it. I apologize for that. The chat flew by. Well, call everyone. Just make sure you're part of the SCP Foundation. Please state what SCP means. Yes, chat. Please confirm you know what the S, C, and P stand for. I will be looking for the correct answers, and I will be making fun of everyone who does the wrong ones. No one saw anything there. Many of you are saying the secondary meaning of SCP, but some of you are going to say the proper one. Where are you? I just saw someone get it right. No, I didn't yet. All of you fools. I'm looking for the original reason, the original meaning of SCP. Ansen is the first one I see it get correct, along with R. Miller. Special containment procedures is the original meaning of SCP. It originated in the SCP-173 article, the very first SCP. Secure, contain, protect is a later motto that came around further into the fandom. we became the SCP Foundation Secure, Contain, Protect. But the original meaning, and you got to remember, is Special Containment Procedures. That's where it all spawned from. I'm going to make sure to dock some of you your bonuses for getting that wrong. Jason, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Go grab yourself a rock star on your way past the commissary. Time to break into the facility and steal cookies. Totally not a spy. Also probably going to get membership next month. Well, I mean, why would you break into the site? If you're in this chat, if you're in this stream, you're already a member of Foundation staff. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to access it. Therefore, you should just be able to walk over to the commissary and grab a cookie if you want a cookie. I don't understand your sneakiness here. Unless you are a spy and that was a hypothetical facetious statement and you're just practicing your spy infiltration techniques, which isn't a bad idea. But also, yes, if you become a member next month, I will start thanking you for being a member. Alu Albert, thank you for donating again. I gave you a way to make trees scream. Use it. I mean, we'll run the test, but we got to be careful to not destroy the tree. We'll try it. Silent Follower, thank you for donating again and saying the correct answer, Special Containment Procedures. Help, the flying hand spider is biting my face again. So what you're saying is that you weren't smart enough to learn from the first time you didn't bring a rock for the floating hand spider. I think you're getting exactly what you deserve. Dr. Sherman, am I allowed to take SCP-999? No, Mr. Abyssal. Now you are allowed to visit SCP-999, but you will not take it anywhere. Macy, I forgot the rock. I can tell because your face is being eaten. Yet I thought you've learned from the first time your face got eaten that you should have brought a rock. I can't believe it takes you 2 times having your face devoured by a floating hand spider to have to deal with that. You need to go back to remedial agent training for this. Hey, question. I got hit with the nerfing gun, but all that happened to me was that I became left-handed. What is it trying to say? Well, it seems like whoever shot you with the nerfing gun may have possibly been racist against lefties, which is kind of a dick move thing to be. So they should stop being douchebags, is what I think. Dr. Sherman, what if devil fruit exists? Well, anime boy Mark, what a appropriate name for your question. Well, I do believe that if it did exist, our first goal would be to contain it so no one could have it. Secondarily, if it existed on a vast enough scale we couldn't contain it instantly, we would have to start containing the newly anomalous humanoids who had eaten some. And very carefully, that would be actually very easy to do because we could just surround them with water, which we know they can't swim. So that's a winner. Animatronics, welcome to Site-42 staff. Thank you for your subscription. Hey guys, Josie learned how to type on a keyboard. Creaturely, any cat can walk on a keyboard. Don't be so easily impressed. Containment breach, gotta go. Oh, go handle it, Trevor. Trevor, right? Was it Trevor? Yes, it was Trevor. Go handle it. Alu Albert, thank you for donating again. My anomalous ass is going to sleep. Good luck catching me. Well, you're going to sleep. You're easier to catch when you're asleep. You shouldn't sleep on the Foundation, because we will put you in a box, obviously. Strange choice of evasive tactic, to be sure. Hey, Dr. Sherman, what's your favorite meal or snack? There is a hot dog restaurant in my hometown called Mel's Hot Dogs. And it is historically some of the best hot dogs you'll ever have. And they're chili dog with cheese, mustard, and onions. That is magic. That is a magic dog. Clone, thank you for donating again. Doctor, I have encountered a group of interest clad in white armor with blue markings. According to them, the droids, or clankers as they call them, are here in an advanced force. How shall I proceed? Well, is this group of interest armed in any manner? They're wearing armor, which makes me assume they are prepared for some form of battle. If they're armed, maybe we can form some sort of partnership. It depends on what they are up to. And hell, we need to verify which side we want to be on in the fight. If we want to side with the droid side or the white armored group side. What are their mission parameters for each? Who do we align more with? Alu Albert, welcome to Overseer status here at Site-42. We appreciate your service and your membership. Good Lord, you are now the boss. Congratulations. Yes, all the green names can do the one of us chant now. Congratulations. Mentally Lost, thank you for donating again. We shall return to the plains unfound. Good day. All right, yeah, stay frosty, stay losty. Dr. Sherman, what's the procedure for a bagel asking me to eat it? Well, Lansy Gamer, first rule, absolutely do not eat the bagel. If an anomalous bagel wants you to eat it, you're already in trouble. We need to run tests on that talking bagel, so please put it in a box, preferably one that is nice and sealed, and we will run some tests. Foxpacks and Co., thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Welcome to the stream, of which there is approximately 25 minutes left. We are in the home stretch of today's stream, people. So, make sure to grab yourself a... Grab yourself Ooh, grab yourself some of Dr. Clef's homemade chowder in a bread bowl. At the commissary. Dr. Sherman, I've got an issue. I went to McDonald's to get some food for my kids, and I saw some strange Happy Meal boxes while I was there. Uh-oh. They seemed to appear out of nowhere, and when I brought it up, they didn't seem to notice. I do not like the idea of mimetically hidden Happy Meal boxes. What is that clown up to? What is Ronald doing? I mean, last time I heard about Ronald McDonald, he was working out, it was working out its abdominals so hardcore that it grew gas-powered fart jetpacks and got in a fight with a doctor who was also an Irish ninja. Continue investigating these anomalous Happy Meals. We need to keep our eyes peeled. Ronald McDonald is nothing to funk with. Meanwhile, we should see about teaming up with Dr. McNinja. Perhaps that would be a helpful person of interest for us to have in our endeavors. Since we are on an SCP-096 kick today, would or could its rage state be triggered by an artificial intelligence like the Terminator, or the fellows from iRobot after they would see its face? Interesting. My thought process is it depends on how advanced the AI is. If it is sapient, I think it might happen, but if it's not sapient, it might not. Oop, don't break the system. Don't break the system. Okay, we're back. So yes, my answer for 096 and AIs is if they are sapient, it might actually count. Whereas if it's just robotic, I don't think so. Foxpax, thank you for donating again. I don't know, how should we proceed? As I said, hang on, keep an eye on those Happy Meals, follow whoever has them, see where they go, see what they do, see if there's an anomalous effect that hits them. We got to make sure that Ronald isn't up to no good. Clone, thank you for donating again. They claim to be members of the 501st Legion and claim to be here in order to stop the droids from invading our world. They said their leader is named General Skywalker. There's that name again, Skywalker. I really need us to look into the archives and see if there was that prophecy I was vaguely remembering. Meanwhile, well, droids invading our world is a breach of the veil. So, immediately I'm inclined to side with the 501st, but we should send an envoy to the droids and see if what they say about the situation. Foxpax and Co, thank you for donating again. We'll update later. I look forward to it. Toxical Gaming, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a order of delicious crepes on your way past the commissary. Your choice if it's sweet or savory. I am a toaster. Oh my, you're infected with me, aren't you? What a shame, I am such an annoying anomaly. Well, make sure to get out of range of me and stop talking about me, and you should end up fine. After all, we wouldn't want you doing untoward things with me or any other toasters. Error 404, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a skirt steak on your way past the commissary. Ayo, I found a new entity, and it's pretty chill. Not he. He is for people. It is for objects, which all anomalies are objects. Get your pronouns right. And it's pretty chill. I named it, again, Vorak. It also tried to eat my finger, so stop calling it a he. It's an it. Don't name it. Obviously, you're going to get attached to it. Put it in a box and we'll run some tests. Come on. Does anyone here follow Foundation protocol? Is Siren Head an SCP? No, Connor, because Siren Head is not on the SCP database, Siren Head, the popular Trevor Henderson creature, is anomalous, but not an SCP. Now, we do have a lesser-known anomaly called Siren Head, and that is a boat with the figurehead of the ship being a singing siren that lures things to its death. It was named that to make fun of people who thought Siren Head was an SCP, and to make more confusion since I have to talk about it now every time someone asks me if it's an SCP. Good prank, bro, but I am annoyed. Site-42 staff, 300 likes on the stream. Good job. You have 20 minutes to get that like button as high as possible. Good luck. Clone, thank you for donating again. Roger, shall I remain with the 501st as an envoy? Yes, do not leave them alone. Maybe listen in on them and see if you hear any of their other plans. See if they're not giving us the whole truth. We'll send another envoy to the droids. Foxpax & Co., thank you for donating again. Also, I believe a friend of mine has found an anonymous AI. I think you mean an anomalous AI. I know, autocorrect does that to me every time. It's very annoying. That is powered by a supercomputer. Well, most anomalous AIs need enough RAM to be anomalous, and therefore they would be supercomputer powered. But yeah, let's lock that down, make sure it can't get onto the internet and spread, and we'll roll from there. What would happen if SCP-096 upset a native SCP-4000 entity? What would happen if it didn't adhere to the Forest with No Names rules? You know, I have a feeling that it would not be that interesting of an interaction, because SCP-096 is, as far as we know, not sapient. It doesn't have actual thoughts, as far as we can tell. Therefore, it's not really able to follow the rules or not, it just is. Kind of like animals. Do you think that the entities whose names were taken care if the animals don't follow their rules? I don't think so. But also, Desk would know more about that than me. That's more his area of study. Foxpax & Go, thank you for donating again. Agreed, sending coordinates to your direction. Fantastic. We'll have to look into that after stream, which ends in 17 minutes for those keeping track. Judith, how often do you do lives? Do you have a schedule? Well, Judith, for now over a month and now 5 days, we have been doing daily streams here on Site-42. Either the office hours streams, which is from 1 hour to 3 hours in length, or a coffee break, which is more in the 30 minutes to an hour and a half range. And those are daily streams. However, we don't have a schedule. Here at the Foundation, there is always something going on. It's very hard for me to have a consistent schedule or consistent sleep schedule in any name of the word. So make sure that bell is hit on your phone / computer, because you never know when we're going to go live. Very often it's sometime in the 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock p.m. California time range. Sometimes it is a little later than that. Or sometimes it's a little earlier than that. It's hard to keep track of, unfortunately. I wish I could be more consistent, but that is where the situation ends up, unfortunately. I live for my dreams. I feed on your nightmares. I whisper to your soul and bring your desire. For myself, I am everything and I am nothing. What am I? Is this enough info for ya? Hello, Albert. That is very menacing and cryptic. Doesn't tell us a whole lot, though. But you're an overseer here, so obviously you're not a big problem. Desk. The question was, what do you think would happen in lore between an interaction between the denizens of the woods with no name and SCP-096? My hypothesis is that because 096 is not sapient, that 096 can't in fact follow the rules willingly or not, therefore like an animal would not be affected. But you might have more intel on how those folk with their names that don't exist would handle such a situation. Hey, Dr. Sherman, what designation would you give an anomalous web browser that provides the system it's installed on with more RAM than is physically installed? So, Lanzy Gamer, that sounds at its most basic level to be a safe class anomaly. Because remember, anomaly classifications are based on the difficulty of containment. And so an anomaly that is on a computer and makes it have more RAM than is physically installed sounds like a safe class anomaly unless it tries to spread, in which case it could become Euclid or Keter from there. Mentally Lost, thank you for donating again. We are bored. We like bean. We take bean out of box. Bean is Keter. We're now entertained. Good luck with bean out of box. We now watch. Okay, but can you tell me a little more about what bean is? Because I have no idea what you mean about bean. And if that's the case, I cannot do anything entertaining with or without a bean. Quite a scenario that you've set up, I guess. Oh my, some of the green names have found the bees, Cognitohazard. What if the bean is bees? What if all bees are beans? What if bees are small beans? What if small bees are beans? Interesting. Dr. Sherman, which XK and all the other scenarios do you fear the most? You know, I don't like the sound of... Hold on one sec. I don't like the sound of an Omega class end of death scenario. The fact that you can be, by all means, should be dead and yet are still living and conscious sounds just like a 2718 scenario. And so I do not like it, Sam I am. I do not like it. Haha, desk. That is SCP-4000 we're talking about. The Fey Folk. I hope the memetic filters hold up for me saying that as clearly without being as oblique as I need to be. But that is 096 the Shy Guy versus the Fey Folk we're talking about. Lucero, thank you for subscribing to Site-42. Welcome to staff. Foxpax & Co., thank you for donating again. Also, a quick update on the Freddy situation. Oh god, oh fuck, what's this gonna be? They all seem to be doing fine. Okay, that's not bad. We've had no visitors these past few days. I like that. Thanks to the decals we put on the windows that makes them look boarded up. Actual good news from the Freddy's Pizzeria. Wonderful! I never would have guessed. Thank you for some rare good news. Lucero, do you actually work for SCP Foundation? No, I do not work for the SCP Foundation. The Somebody Else's Problem Foundation is not a group of interest I'm familiar with. Oh, I do work for the SCP Foundation, though. Both in that I am a researcher and site director for Site-42 of the SCP Foundation, and for Out of Character that I am SCP author V. Sherman on the SCP Wiki. And an honorary staff member, although I don't have any power. I'm a staff member in the Wiki with no power to do anything. They actually made a special type of staff member called an adjunct staff for me. Because if you're a staff member on the Wiki, you have to go through an approval process to renew your staff membership. And they look at the jobs you do. But I don't really do jobs for the Wiki. I'm just kind of like a face character that interacts with businesses that want to talk to staff. So I've been given a minimal level staff position that doesn't require review. So I just better not F it up by doing something douchey. Just a fun fact. I am an adjunct staff member on the social media team for the SCP Wiki. Hello, Albert. Thank you for donating again. I'm bored. That's what I am. I need something to mess with. Something to feed on. Well, I mean, there's plenty to eat in the commissary. You can have whatever you want over there at this point. They might be able to interact with Shy Guy, and in my opinion, I believe it is more sentient than we really give it credit for. Though before the Nameless can really do anything to Shy Guy, they would have to see its face, and therefore the problem resolves itself. Not an angle I thought about it from. Not bad, Desk. And yes, as a reminder, we are all protected by Alto Clef's Reality Sync anchoring abilities, so that I can teach you guys SCP facts without even worrying about being grabbed by 2521 or anything. Dr. Sherman, can I have a bee sandwich? I mean, did the bees do something to you? Seems a little rude. I mean, I guess if you like bees and they're dead bees, I guess that's not so bad. The Scarlet King. Dr. Sherman, erase all trace of my real name from your records. What, are you ashamed that your name is Oswald? Pfft, nerd. Are there cases where a Scranton reality anchor wouldn't work? Is it possible for an anomaly to use a Scranton reality anchor to counteract ones you try to use on it? So, number one, there are plenty of anomalies that an SRA doesn't work on. The Scranton reality anchors are big, expensive, tetchy equipment, and they only handle things that deal with Humes and reality. So there are plenty of anomalies that, due to one circumstance or another, are not affected by SRAs. Meanwhile, I guess if you put the settings on one SRA to counter another SRA, that they could work against each other. But again, they are the size of MRI machines. They're huge machines that are very expensive and unwieldy, so it's not likely we'd have two in the same place. Hey Doc, hope your stream goes well, dude. Well, Richard, thank you for being a member and showing up for the last minute, because we are 5 minutes from the end of stream. And it has been a very good stream, so your wishes have come true today. Scranton reality anchors are made out of dead reality benders. Desk, what? I really need to read SCP-4231. What the hell? And there is evidence of the dead waking up within the anchor. Clef's wife at the end of 4231. Shit, I really gotta read 4231. Jesus. Specifically, I am calling out in prayer to Bread Jesus, SCP-3305 this time. Dr. B, goodbye, goodbye. Mentally Lost, thank you for donating again. Bean is now outside facility. We are entertained. What bean? What bean? Is this a musical fruit of some kind? Dr. Sherman, would the SCP Foundation use devil fruit? Well, anime boy, I somewhat doubt it, because the anomalous abilities granted by said devil fruit are very random, and therefore we could not guarantee a successful result that would help a team member using it. On top of which, all of our mobile task forces would gain the weakness that they could not swim, which would end up highly bad for them. So probably not. Oh, for those who just heard me say I need to read 4231 and are planning to do so themselves, apparently it also has massive trigger warnings for sexual abuse, rape, animal abuse, physical abuse, domestic abuse, child abandonment, torture, kidnapping, and matricide. It is also part of the overarching accepted Clef backstory. So be careful. It's the deep lore, and it's also dark. Deep, dark lore. Woof. Sans the Skeleton, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a hot cat on your way past the commissary. I owe you research. What do you want me to do? Let me check the database real quick. I need you over at... Scanning. I need you over at SCP-6623, codename The Wandering City. You'll be reporting to Containment Area 41, answering to Director Amber Silva for this mission. They're down some staff, so they could use your help. 2 minutes left in the stream, chat. We are answering last questions. Tara Gall, coming in at the very last minute. Good to see you in stream, buddy. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some spider cider on your way past the commissary. We are the Serpent's Hand. We have Tara Gall now. Listen to our demands, and I think you know what entities we want, so give them to us. I'm sorry, but no. We are absolutely not negotiating with you snakes. Terragal knows that we don't negotiate with hippies, I mean terrorists, and so Terragal knows what's happening. Don't worry, Terragal, we'll get you out of there. Amber, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a croissant on your way past the commissary. Found your front company, Sherm SCP, certified, a senior certified professional, a certification in the Society for Human Resource Management, Sherm for real. During my first year as an SCP YouTuber, people found the Sherm SCP certification and made memes of it. It was pretty funny. I have not heard that in so long. Funny of you to dig that up. Agent Mowell, thank you for donating again. Fupper Cup, thank you for being a member. Good to see you in the chat. What would happen if you put 096 with 999? Nothing, because 999 doesn't have eyes, so it wouldn't activate 096. And so 096 wouldn't care that 999 was there. Maybe it can feel some tickles. We don't know. But we do know that as soon as 096 was activated, it would be too fast for 999 to catch and calm down, so it wouldn't work. Hall Gao, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some pixie sticks on your way past the commissary. How would the Foundation contain the monster from the game Carrion? We would build much better walls. What are they? What are their walls? Made out of paper mache? Those are some terrible laboratory sealed doors. They need to do better. All right. That is the end of our stream, Site-42 staff and greater SCP Foundation staff. I thank you all for hanging out with us for this office hours. And we do at the end of every stream, I tell you my favorite SCPs. Now, these are not the SCPs that I myself, Dr. Sherman, wrote. That would be cheating. Of course, I love my own SCPs. And if you want to read my SCPs, you can go to the Sherm's SCP author page and Site-42 hub, where you can find all the SCPs I wrote, as well as the ones I contributed to otherwise. And while you're there, you can stop by our support links, where you can become a patron. For as little as $1 a month, you get early access to all of our videos, as well as little life updates for the studio. If you join the Site-42 membership here on YouTube, then you get your green name, your badges, and your emojis, as well as, at the higher levels, early access to videos as well. I try to balance out which benefits go to which service, that way it seems fair to everyone. Either way, you'd be helping support the Site-42 team. That way we can make bigger and better SCP projects and help signal boost the other SCP projects that are out there by other creators. And that means, of course, even if you can't donate directly, if you are liking, sharing, and subscribing here on Site-42 YouTube, you are helping us as a part of Mobile Task Force Sci-42, codename the Signal Boosters. We help SCP filmmakers and game developers get their projects seen and funded by getting them to as many eyes as possible. So, however you support Site-42 directly or obliquely, we salute you and thank you for your service. Now, without further ado, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5320, SCP-5175, and SCP-8980. Huge trigger warning for that last one. Ooh, it's rough. One more time through. 399930430008-J, Spooky-J, 5031517553208980. Major content warning. Site-42 staff, I hope you've had fun. Hope you've learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, and protect. I'll see you in the next stream or video. We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. A full commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just wanna tell you how I'm feeling. 'Cause I gotta make you understand. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you.